We've started fighting again because I got pregnant and the man responsible abandoned me. I had complications and miscarried due to the growing multiple fibroid and hyperemesis. I am depressed and suicidal because I'm financially dependent on my father and have to deal with him daily since my mom doesn't have the means to take care of me. There's always tension at home, Tales, especially because my parents don't see eye to eye. Please help me.
So that's a letter sent in from one of our viewers. My guests and I will talk about it and try to proffer solutions as necessary. My guest tonight, Justina Ejiri, is a counselor and psychologist. Mama Kathy, our very own Mama Catherine Onwe Odokit, is a family life consultant, author, and executive life coach. Wisdom Care example for is a geometric engineer and a land surveyor. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Wisdom, this is your first time, so welcome. But I mean, they are regular. So welcome, Justine, and welcome, Mama Kathy.
Thank you.
Good to see you once again, as always. Now, let's talk about the letter. Let me go this way. They say ladies first, but I would like to start from the gentleman. Wisdom, in reading the letter, what were your initial reactions?
Reading the letter, it cast my mind back to what I also experienced. And in my case, I was unlike hers. Mine was different because mine was with a woman. Okay, so for this lady, it happens to be a man, and with a man, I can see how it works for them because it's very hard for a man to help cater for a daughter or a child when it happens this way. Because when it comes to a role of a man, in our society, they feel like it's just about the finances that I'm supposed to take care of. Don't look at the upbringing. I'm supposed to bring the kid in this way to help them actually learn moral ways of society. So I know it's going to be very hard for her, and it's going to be very harsh because with man's upbringing, it's a little bit harsh. So I felt it. Just the mine was different. It happens to be a woman, so I was felt a little bit blessed.
We'll delve deeper into your life coming from a broken home. I know there are a lot of young people out there, even adults, more mature people, who are from broken homes and they are broken themselves. Mama Kathy, when you saw the letter from this young woman, what was running through your mind?
I felt pity for her. And I saw millions in her shoes. I saw a child that was brought into the world by persons that were not ready to have a child. And they relegated the responsibility. I saw a girl who needs help. I saw a girl who is thoroughly confused. I saw a girl who has taken on an image that is not truly hers. I saw a girl that is confused about life and suicidal. I saw a girl that expected so much from family, but the family failed her. I saw a girl that was brought to a place of taking responsibility for her life when she was not ready. And all of these have brought that girl to a place of being a very nasty girl, where people would judge her without knowing her story. But actually, I believe that there is still hope for her. And so I want to strongly believe that she's watching us now. I see a girl that can be instrumental to bringing other people to the place of hope because she's gone through life herself. I see a girl who presently feels there is nothing in life for her. But there is so much in life, and she's sitting on a gold mine that if properly harnessed, she could become such an influential person because she's gone through pain. And if she manages the pain well, I call it managing pain for maximum productivity. A child that is in despair, a young lady that is in despair. But also there is another twist. There was something I saw about her. Dependency on a man. And maybe because of her upbringing. Because I would have expected that when daddy was a bit difficult and mom is not financially buoyant, and at least you have a level of education, even if you don't have, you're living in a world, you have a telephone, you should be able to think of what to do to generate money and not be dependent.
Is that not common these days?
It is extremely very common, but you know, we are not coming here to cast blames on anybody. That's the reason why God gave...
She's watching it.
Yes. That's the reason why God gave children certain number of years to be introduced to life properly. Because when there is a dysfunction, it actually reveals the place of upbringing, and the lapse there exposes it. And so many girls are totally dependent on men when they carry more grace, glory, and strength than even the men they are depending on. But because the society projects that because you are a woman, you should be dependent, they kind of have told the line. It's the parent that should have brought this girl to a place of knowing that being a woman is not a deficiency. You could become.
Now, in your first statement, you said she was brought into the world by people who were not ready. How do you determine if somebody is ready to have children or not? Perhaps the marriage didn't work, and so they had to go their separate ways.
Oh dear, Lily, there are 1,000,001 people who have jumped into the boat of marriage for the wrong reasons. And as much as we are addressing this lady, I said that because 1,000,001, I repeat, are marrying for the wrong reasons. And so they were not ready for a child, because having a child requires a lot of work. Fatherhood and motherhood is not a title, it's a responsibility. And that responsibility should be taken on even before a child comes.
Must I take on that responsibility at the expense of my life?
Excuse me. Are you serious? Yes. Which expense of your life? Did I hear you say that?
If I'm being abused in the marriage,
that's different.
If my emotional sanity is being questioned in the marriage, must I stay because I have a responsibility to a child that I'm mothering?
There is a caveat. When your life is under threat, you may not need to divorce, but you can separate for safety and seek for help. People have got to come to a place of knowing that marriage is a commitment, and that is not just jumping in and jumping out. And until we are ready to face it headlong as a society, we're not going anywhere, because God did not, if he didn't want parents, he would have dropped children from the sky. But for him to trust children to two matured people, sincerely, that was because there was a rule. And so if there is a threat on your life, I will personally come to where you are and whisk you out. But I'll make you see things, because when there is a threat, it's either the other person comes from dysfunction, or you equally come from dysfunction. There are two parties in a marriage. And most of us came through the lens of marriage not being right. And so when you were brought from an environment where you were not meant to see marriage as something honorable, you can become what you never thought. And so when there's a threat by reason of the dysfunction on the part of your partner, it's best to withdraw the partner, and then the person seeks for therapy or counseling in order to receive wholeness, and then probably go back or decide to stay alone. But what I'm trying to say is, see, marriage is a very serious thing, and until we look holistically into it, the society will keep degenerating, because that's about the only factory where humans are expected to come through. Okay, so people should marry for the right reason, not for sex. Ask the people who are married the last time they had sex. So if you concentrate only on sex, you have just messed up yourself. There are dimensions: communication, finance, in-laws, friends, gadget, upbringing. There are too many things that needs to be in. You should have a conversation on these things before you engage. Because if you don't have a conversation, you are going to have disparaging opinion and views. At the end of the day, the disparity in your opinions and views is going to bring challenges into your marriage. So we are sitting here helping the young lady because she can complain about the father and mother. But if she happens to have a child, she may be worse than the parents.
Interesting. Justina, I see you nodding all through Mama Kati's submissions.
Yes, but what I have to add to it is I'm thinking, what has divorce got to do, or separation got to do with a responsibility?
Beautiful.
The two of you have decided to go your separate way. What has that got to do with that innocent child? Because you brought that child up out of joy, I will say, because that is what it's supposed to be. I'm a Christian, so I'll say that the Bible says when we are happy, God glorifies himself. Out of that glorification, because you were happy, you had a child. So if you've decided for whatever reason that, or you can't bond again, what about a child? It doesn't take your responsibilities away, because like Mama Kati said, being a parent isn't a position. It's a responsibility. And it's a responsibility done on matured people. So just like she said, if you enter into the marriage with the wrong reason, then you are immature from the onset. So the foundations are wrong, and everything that follows, it's just like having a building and the foundation is poorly done. What do you expect?
If the whole building will come down collapsing.
That is what we are seeing now. Because you going your separate way, having a divorce, I don't see why a child should suffer. Because your finances can still work. Paying school fees doesn't come in. You still have to. You can be your separate way, but find a way to cater for that child. So if you are punishing the innocent child for your own mistake, for your own immaturity, then you yourself, you don't understand, you don't know, you are not ready for that gift.
Are we safe to say that those parents are also coming from dysfunctional homes, and so because they saw nothing wrong in their upbringing, they're channeling it to their children?
No, it's not always so. Some people just can't manage anger well. You see, this girl is going through what she's going through because of the circumstances that led to the brokenness or the divorce or separation. However, how was it done, the process? Because if two mature people are separating, they will strike an agreement. Okay, what about this child? What are we going to do? Who takes care of that child? It's not like I'm taking my child. Like some people will use these children to extort resources from the other. Because I want to show you where power lies. Some people will restrict. You can't access my child. Meanwhile, it took two to bring that child. So some people cannot manage these things during the process. And then the fact that we are angry, we have to come to a point of agreement because there's a third party. That child never called you to bring me. So you went in for. So now that we are going our way, what next? What do we do? But if you tend to punish this innocent child, this is where we're coming from. And in our society, nobody takes up such people. Elsewhere, you are made to pay certain things to the government, and the government will take care of that child. Make sure whatever the child needs. But in Ghana, should this girl have even reported, what will happen? Some fathers can go and pay, so they allow them to go. Some people will claim they are not working. But the point is, if you're not working, assuming the child is living with you, don't you eat? If you do, why can't your child also eat?
Is this not some form of transfer of a sort? Because if these parents are coming from broken homes or dysfunctional homes, they work their way to where they got it to. And so they think that it is normal. You also find your way, some way, somehow.
It's one of the cause, but it's not the only. Because you can have people from a very good, I would say, Christian home with morals, but their children are going through this because of anger, because of immaturity. Probably they also have their psychological issues they don't even know.
So is this not psychological transfer?
It could be yes and no, depending on the person. So normally, psychologically, we have to assess the parent. Like I said, ignorance could play a role. Deliberate being irresponsible can be there. Or just, we call it vicarious learning. I'm learning from what I see around me. So you could see that some communities are prone to some of these things. But I'm not saying other communities don't have it. They have it. But the prevalence, you will realize that it's low and high depending on the community. Because if that's what I see around me, I don't take care of my child and nobody questions me. The tradition goes on. But where sometimes you see a group of people and you yourself will sit up in certain nobody will question you, but the lifestyle there will tell you to do something. And then the law, as a state, as a nation, what kind of laws do we have to protect children, to protect parents who need the other parties to do their responsibilities? Do we have them? If we do, how are we applying them? And another thing is also seeking help. Apart from the law, they may need psychological help, they may need counseling, and are they using the right people? Are they using the right channels to reach out for help? So I don't know. But
how do I know that this is the right channel to seeking help? She's watching. I know you're watching, honey, and she's in a depressed state, and so she feels the need to ask for help. But when all these events started, how will she know who do I go to?
It boils back to society. What do we cherish? So even look at medical conditions, how we handle it. So some people just don't know this is an issue. There's a certain person trained here I can talk to. They don't know. Others know. But the willpower to move. Right. Some people want to cover their nakedness in here, so they can go to the hospital, go naked. It's okay. But when they have to naked what is in their head, that is causing the physical symptoms, they won't. And then again, society. You know, we have social support systems. That is why earlier when I was saying that our society is being broken. It's even broken because then times you have an auntie, you have a godmother in the church, and then you can fall on these people. But today everybody is minding their business. So you speak to the wrong people. You speak to people and either they judge you or they throw you off. Or this one, are you the only person going through that? Or this is nothing. Or you can make it, try your best. And it ends there, forgetting about the emotional aspect of whatever is happening, which will lead to the physical, the social, and other issues that comes with it.
Mama Kathy, I'll come to you, Mr. Toy. Mama Kathy, I saw you nodding all through, especially when I asked if those parents, if the girl's parents are not coming from a dysfunctional home, and hence there's a bit of a transfer.
I was nodding because having done what I do for the number of years I do, I've encountered people who sincerely never even knew what they were doing was wrong. I remember a certain man coming to me. He was 63 years then, and then somebody referred him to come with his wife for counseling. And when we started the assessment and all of that, I gave him my book, one of my books. And when he came back, he said, you know what? I am very guilty. I never saw any of these things. And it was through probing and assessment, I discovered that he didn't grow up with his father. So you could be a man and not know how to be a husband or a father, because we are the replica of what we saw growing up. So it may not be 100%, but there is still a percentage of people who are misbehaving in quotes, not because they would have, if they had the understanding of what their responsibilities were. So if your parent didn't take care of you, you cry, you've even tried taking care of this girl to 18 years. You've paid school fees. Maybe the man's father did not even take responsibility for him. And so it is very true to a great extent that some people have reneged on their responsibilities because of the dysfunction that produced them. And that is why it is very, very important, more than important, to invest time into premarital counseling. That is very revealing, insightful, and, you know, that opens up the capacity in the young people getting married. Because as a counselor, preparing people for marriage and doing post-marital, I've come to realize that there are 1,000,001 people who want to marry, but they do not know what marriage is. And they don't have any business marrying or even having a relationship that will produce a child.
Please repeat. Please repeat.
It's because, you know, the mistake is people think that when they physiologically change, your voice breaks as a man, you grow beard and you wear trousers, you are qualified to marry.
Or you hit a certain
or
age.
you hit a certain age. Or a lady feels that when you have all these things, you are fit. No, it has nothing to do with the packaging. It has to do with the content of the mind. You know, as a man thinketh, so is he. So I tell people when they come for premarital, I say, first of all, we are going to do an assessment of where you were produced from. Because if you do not take a journey to where you came from, the tendency to repeat the journey with your children is literally 100%. So we are going to look at how did mommy react when he was angry? How did father react when he was angry? Is there infidelity in your family? Is there communication breakdown? Is there verbal abuse? Is there, abandonment? Is there divorce? Is there separation? Is there this? Is there this? Is there this? Because when people think they are in love, they don't give attention to rationing, proper logical rationing. When once people are in love, they believe that they are in heaven. It is only when they get into marriage, they discover that they don't know love. Because they didn't give attention. And as a Christian, I say, Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed? Agreement must be on finances. Agreement must be on children's upbringing. Agreement must be on communication. Agreement must come on social media, attachment. Agreement on several things. Where do we come? And then most especially, like this man, what is the value system? Because feelings may push you into relationship, but it's value that will keep your marriage. And so this person comes from a dysfunctional home, hasn't sought for help, and now he wants to bring another child into this without seeking for help. And this child, like I said earlier, if she attempts to have a baby, except she seeks for help, she will abuse the baby. Not voluntarily, but out of the bottled emotions of pain she is carrying. Because we churn out what is inside of us and pour on innocent children. So the society...
But this young woman was pregnant. Unfortunately, she miscarried.
It's God that blessed her.
How is that a blessing?
Oh, yes. Because sincerely, sitting as I'm sitting, and a mother, a counselor, somebody who is into this thing, I am inside this thing for 20 years, talking to countless people, truly speaking, some pain is actually a blessing in disguise. Because you see, a child is meant to be loved. A child that is not loved will be a narcissist child. A child that doesn't receive affection. There's something in psychology called attachment theory. If that attachment theory was not put in perspective, and some children become anxious, dependent, and all those things that people need to read up and understand, you discover that that girl would have brought a child. That child that she would have birthed will not stop her from suicidal thoughts. It will not stop her from depression. So what is the atmosphere that child will grow in? It will be toxic. And a toxic atmosphere that produces a child will make the child also to be intoxicated. So it's better that now that somehow the miscarriage happened, she should seek for help. What she needs now is not another relationship. What she needs now is not alcohol. It's not sex. It's none of those things. She needs healing. To go back to the place where she was broken and where the lenses of her eyes were covered and blurred, and then begin to walk back from her childhood right down to this place. Correct the abnormalities so that she can be a whole person and take her life back. Because until she takes ownership of her life, she is a time bomb waiting to happen.
Wisdom. Okay, for want of a better word, you're a product of broken home.
Yes, please.
Walk us through the point. At what point were your parents separated? At what age?
If I could remember clearly, that was in, I think, 1998. If I could remember clearly.
But how old were you then? You were
7, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember. It was traumatic because I remembered how it was. There was a blackout that day. We were kicked out of the house. Yeah.
I'm not sure I get the picture right.
It was black. We were kicked out of the house for another woman to come in.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Maybe I need to adjust myself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just that, I want to go back to what the man did. If you also had a past trauma, you're not supposed to accept that trauma in your current life on somebody else. Then you haven't learned. You are actually not being humans, because humans are supposed to have some capabilities of adapting and changing. You have had a problem and you're having a deja vu. It's just like writing an exam. Same questions, you failed. You're feeling all over again. You're not actually changing.
But how easy is it for people to acknowledge that I failed, so I must rewrite the wrongs? Do people come to that place of acceptance to say that I was wrong? In these circumstances that I was raised, they were toxic. I do not need to repeat it in my next life. How do people come to that place of realization? Is it easy?
To be human, admittance is key. If you don't admit things, then you're going to be the same toxic person you'll be and be miserable. So for you to admit, I was raised in a bad way, then if I'm having a deja vu with a kid, I have to be this way. If you're not that way, then you're not actually reaching your capabilities as human. You're not being human. If I'm wrong, you can correct me, but you're not being human. If you can't change the ways that you were once brought up on your new kid, then what makes you a different person?
I'll ask Justina something psychologically, but has there been an instance where you have been vindictive towards another person because of your upbringing? Because from what I see now, you have come to a place of acceptance that what you went through was wrong, and so you must not do it to somebody. But were there moments where you were vindictive to others?
Yeah. Came to some time in my life, I've been so petty till I have to learn, because that's what I've been. So you have some little flaws from what you've had, the traumas that you had, so you have some little flaws in your life.
Did you grow up angry?
Yes, I have anger issues. I had anger issues. I think I still have a little bit. Yeah, so. But the thing was, my mom, as we were saying, my mom also went through these problems, but she was able to adapt. So when it happened to her, she was able to play the two roles very well. So I couldn't actually involve myself in juvenile delinquents. So if this man couldn't do the same, you don't have any excuse to give. That, okay, I went through the same trauma, you have to go through the same thing. No, it doesn't make sense to me. You have to learn.
But sometimes do people, I'll come back to you to continue, but Justina, do people deliberately set out to inflict pain on others? Do they even know that what they're doing is hurting the other party?
Yes. We have people, we have some personality underlining traits like that. When I see you in pain, I'm happy. We have people like that. So they seek for that, and that makes them happy. Yeah, we have people like that. And then back to, you see that he got help, a sort of social help, because there was somebody to stand by him. Unlike this lady, I'm still asking, where were the social support? No aunties from both sides, no friends seeing what is happening around her and then trying to support her by way of encouraging.
You know, people sometimes have a crude way of hiding their pain. People hide their pain so well, and that even when they are hurting, they may be smiling with you, but they are hurting.
Yes, but okay, it's true. But you see, psychologically, certain parts of your body can't lie.
Like,
okay,
so that,
my lips.
So that if I'm lying now, the whole world can know that I'm lying.
Except you are trained, Okay, so I can be like, I always use this as an example. In our part of the world, we are trained. You meet somebody, you say hello, how are you? Fine, thank you, and that's it. Did you watch the person saying fine, thank you? So the lips are saying I'm fine, thank you, even on a sick bed. But the nose, the eyebrows, the eyelids, even the lips sometimes will be moving differently. So you are smiling, but your cheeks are not smiling. So you see that they are harder than the way they are supposed to be. But if you are not trained, you wouldn't know. But sometimes when you ask people, how are you? Or you are smiling with people, look closer to them. So how many minutes does the smile last? Then another thing is, what are the activities the person used to engage in that has changed? So people are lively, all of a sudden they've quelled. So they will tell, oh, there's no problem, I just want to be quiet. For how long? They lose interest in the usual things they are interested in. They don't want social activities. They don't want to talk about certain things, especially when they meet at school or in a social environment. And then they are talking about mummies and daddies. You see that the person seems to be offended or seem to be withdrawn. All these things are signs, but we don't pay attention to them. We don't pay attention to them.
Now, Wisdom, beyond your mother playing dual roles, did you have social support?
I always seek to have father figures. I always go looking about for father figures. So I had a lot of people playing father figures for me. Yeah, it showed clearly, even in school. You have to look for. I turn my uncles to those who know me. I see my uncles, or those are not even my uncles, to be my dads. Because I was sick. I was yearning for that. I wasn't having that for my dad, so I have to look for somebody. So in a way too, yeah, socially it was played out well for me. So.
And those people came to your rescue?
Yes.
Did they know that you are coming from such a home, and so they had to play those father
they knew.
roles?
So yeah, they played that. They played that, especially my uncles. Yeah.
Mama Kathy, the lady in the letter, do you think she was seeking fatherly love or looking for somebody to play the fatherly role, hence her pregnancy?
Yes. Every daughter is birthed to seek affirmation, validation, and love from the father. That's just how we are wired. And most of the delinquent behavior of young ladies is because they are looking for a man to love them. That role should have been played by the father. So she's been looking for love in the wrong places because daddy is not available. And I said that somewhere today on set, another TV that I was on, and the host asked, because he happens to have 4 daughters. And so when we were done, he asked me, what would be your advice for me as a father of 4 girls? So the greatest thing you can do for your daughters is to love them passionately, affirm and validate them, cuddle them, and speak life into them. Once they are secure in you, no man on earth will strip them off their feet. Because what every young lady looks for is that affirmation and love from the father. Not everybody is so strong to have it from outside. Some will be vulnerable, and I think this girl was vulnerable, looking for love. And not just that, girls have specific needs. Her needs were not met. So apart from looking for love from a man, he was also looking for somebody to help him survive. Because she hasn't taken responsibility for herself to work hard and keep herself going. A lot of things had been broken in her upbringing, in her life, which needs to be fixed. It can still be redeemed, you know. But Lily, let me take you back a little bit. You know, the gentleman, Wisdom here, said something. You don't repeat what you went through. I wanted to ask him. I wanted to interrupt and say, are you married? Are you married yet?
No, please.
Cool down. Don't be quick.
Cool down.
Don't be quick. Yeah. Because marriage is like a pressure pot.
Pressure cooker.
Pressure cooker, say. Marriage is like a pressure cooker. Hi. You can be so put under pressure that you become what you never thought you'll become. People change when they marry, mostly if their capacity to handling challenges are not. Being a man is not an easy thing. And if the face is even turned towards another woman, and now there are responsibilities in this first one, you're losing interest. So people repeat the mistakes of their parents. They saw that daddy did that, and they are repeating it because somehow life puts pressure on them, and they can't contend the pressure that is put on. They become what they hated, you know.
And at that point, you think that is the best solution.
That's it.
So unknowingly,
because it was done to you and you survived.
not necessarily,
Not really.
but that has been your foundation. It's inbuilt. So it comes out before you realize you are that. So sometimes they go back. Some men will go back and weep. But they will wipe their tears, come back,
repeat
and
the cycle.
Like the men who have been beating their spouses. Not most of them saw it or wish to, but that is what is around them. So unknowingly they've learned, and they do it spontaneously before they realize the hand has moved. But if you have been trained that control your anger, control whatever is pushing you, then you are matured enough to even speak positive when the other person is putting the pressure. Like Mama said, the pressure pot, you can still sustain whatever is in it, depending on how you perceive it, how you want it. But if you want, I always say that quick and short-term solutions for long-term problems, then for society will help you. When a woman goes with the mouth, the hand must, or some will say that you pick a stick and try to spank a woman. Is the woman your child? But you do it without knowing. Because that is what is in you. You see, the mind plays a very vital role, and it is who we are. Because it has recorded, it comes out without you realizing it. That is why you have to learn. Like Mama said, marriage is a learning process. So if you learn, then you will remember that I am from here, and this is what I've learned I shouldn't do. And that will help you paint that mental image for you to control and be disciplined.
Quite a night. This is Life Tales. So take a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
It's good to try something new every day. It's good to stay strong together. It's good when you get the rest you need because your family has got you. It's good to share nutritious meals cooked with Frytol, a vitamin A fortified oil. Whatever goodness means to you, Frytol stands with you. Frytol, you deserve a life of goodness. This advert is FDA approved.
Hi, is this Valley Pizza? Are you open?
Yes, please, we are open.
There you have it. Valley Pizza from Pediasi Valley Resort saves the day. Share in this bundle of joy in so many delicious flavors such as pepperoni pizza, seafood pizza, all-season pizza, and so many more. All these can be delivered at your doorstep in just a few minutes. And guess what? There is ice cream and popcorn too. Tell me, where else would you rather be? Call us on 0593 824 388 or find us on social media at Pediasi Valley Resort. Pediasi Valley Resort. Live life.
got you. It's good to share nutritious meals cooked with Frytol, a vitamin A fortified oil. Whatever goodness means to you, Frytol stands with you. Frytol, you deserve a life of goodness. This advert is FDA approved.
What a blessing! It's yet another international prophetic visitation, and we are honored to have Prophet Sadhu Sundar Selvaraj visit us on Sunday, May 8, 2022, at the Holy Hill Chapel, Faith Cathedral Circle, just behind the GCB Tower at 7:15 a.m. prompt. Come and experience this unforgettable, divine prophetic encounter. There's a message from the Lord just for you. Don't leave your friends and family out. Invite someone and you will surely be blessed. Jesus is Lord.
Okay, so there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and sometimes I wish you see it. Welcome back to the show. This is Live Stills here on GH1 TV. Tonight we're discussing the effects of broken home, and according to the 2021 Population and Housing Census, there's a lot of increase in divorce cases. Currently, Ghana has 553,000 cases of divorce, and separation, 405,000 people are separated out of our population, out of our very small population. We have 400 people separating and over 500 people divorcing. Is it a cumulative effect of dysfunctional people going into dysfunctional homes and creating dysfunctional families?
It's as a result of lack of preparation.
If you say preparation, what do you mean?
Premarital. It's because we have misplaced priority now. The priority now is more on emotive things. Touch me, neck me, take me out, and all of that. And so when you get in there, you realize that those are not the things that will give a solid foundation to hold it. Before marriage, people were supposed to sit down and do proper assessment of where they are going and what they want to see, but it's not found. So you see, boyfriend, girlfriend, take me out, do this, da. None of those things will sustain a marriage.
The whole tingle stage.
If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So the real issue is, what was the foundation upon which those marriages were started? Until you can find an answer to those foundations, you ain't going to have anything good, because people are using courtship as honeymoon, and they want to use marriage for courtship. It doesn't work like that. They get into marriage and they say, this is not the person I married. It's the person you married. You didn't do your homework well. And so that's why divorce is increasing. And people have got to, unfortunately, I'm a pastor, okay? But unfortunately, because one is a pastor doesn't mean you can handle premarital. I think that
and that's what we find a lot in our churches.
Yes. Unfortunately, I think that some things should be outsourced to people you can trust can help the process at the end of the day to help your church. Because if you outsource it to people who know exactly how to engage these two people who are not yet married, I'm telling you the truth. Like you're looking at me, Lily, there was a gentleman that had done 9 months of premarital. Then the wife, the fiancé then knew me and decided, okay, let's come to Mama Kathy, let her just brush her through. And this guy was looking at me sternly, and I was wondering, was there something wrong with me? At a point, I couldn't contend because the gaze was fixed, and he didn't respond to anything. He was just looking at me like this. So finally, I asked him, is there anything the matter? He pondered for about 2 minutes and said, do you know what, Mama Kathy, I have done marital counseling for 9 months. If I didn't come to meet you, I would have walked away from my marriage as my father walked away on us at 6 years old. Because it was so revealing. It was extremely very revealing. I wish that people would slow down, take life a bit easy, and leave all this hype of social media, and then gain knowledge.
Is it very easy? especially for women who think they have biological clocks that are ticking, and their friends are getting married, parents pressure, societal pressure, and they themselves pressuring themselves. It's very easy.
It is not getting married that is a problem, it's staying married. For any woman who is under pressure because of time clock, ask yourself, will this thing be sustainable? That is what I tell women. Because there are some marriages you regret the day you ever had anything to do with that person. So this is a TV. We are saying it openly here. We are sitting here and saying, young ladies, don't allow age push you, nor pressure from society, pressure from family, because none of those people will be with you under your roof to see what you're going through that you did not prepare for. So people should wake up to the reality. The divorce statistics you are reading out there is pathetic. It's very depressing. But why will people see all these statistics and think that their own case will be different? Because they feel that they are unique. No, human beings as human beings will always have issues. But trash the issues before you get in, so that at least it will help you start on a good footing.
And again, I think even the statistics is not accurate. These are the reported cases. What about those we handle our own way?
Wow, that's true.
So I'm thinking it's not. Again, let's stop concentrating on the ceremony.
Bless you.
And concentrate on marriage.
Preparation for marriage.
Preparation, what is it? You see, so I'm pleading that the church will help young people to stop concentrating on the ceremony. I want it this way, this colors, and they are traveling all around.
Some take loan.
Yes. Instead of thinking of, okay, you see, after the ceremony, everybody, like we come in, one after the other, the same way we leave. Then the two of you will be left to pack bag and baggage. Now, where next? That is what we have to think about when we are thinking of marriage. Again, what is it that is marriage to me and to him? So as a woman, what is marriage? What is my role? What is my responsibilities? Then, when I come to this conclusion, then I ask, what is the role and the responsibility of that figure called a husband? So I know what a husband must pose. So as I move on, I'm looking for those things. It's not about the check. It's not about the telenovelas we are watching. In fact, those things are programmed, set within some period. They act and they go. So they are not realities. It's somebody's imaginary something. But now that is how some people are calling for.
Let's, Jasmine, let's look at this lady. Psychologically, what are some of the things that if she were your client, you were going to do for her? I mean, she's in a state of depression. She feels that life is not worth it. What can you do for her?
So it's a process. So she will definitely go through assessment, and the assessment process will bring out the exact issue. So somebody is depressed just because of misinterpreting the world or having wrong expectations. So based on whatever comes out of the assessment will warrant what help. But basically she will need what we call cognitive behavioral. We have to change what's happening in how she thinks. You know, how you think affects how you feel and affects how you behave, and it's a cycle. So once we are able to change how she thinks, how she perceives the world, then it will affect everything one after the other. So an example is, somebody must provide clothing for me. Somebody must buy this for me. So the question is, what if there's nobody? What are the possible ways you can find those things you are yearning for if there's nobody to do it for you? And she herself will be bringing alternative. So I will just guide her based on the alternatives. Which one comes first? How do you attain it? This is where she will realize her importance as a human being, then her capabilities, her strength and her weaknesses. So if this is your strength, then what are some of the possible things you can do around you immediately those are the things we will take her through. So mostly we therapists don't decide. We help you to recognize, to rebuild yourself, to re-identify who you are, your strengths and your weaknesses, and we help you to develop them.
Wisdom, have you forgiven your father? That's a tough question.
Yeah, I have, but no. Yeah, I have.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Are you
it
sure you
depends
have?
on what you define by forgiveness.
No, but
No,
I'm asking.
I have.
Have you? Fully?
Yes, but just that it's just like I'm protecting myself. I've forgiven you, but
Protecting yourself from what?
No, the thing is, I feel like he's done something. Okay, I've forgiven you, but maybe it's just something that is just there. I won't have the edge to be with, like, you are not there, so I won't have that edge. I can't force it.
Do you have trust issues because of what you went through?
Psychologically.
Yeah, I do have. I do have trust issues. I do have trust issues. Yeah, my friends know me to be there. Even my bosses know. I do have it. Yeah.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm sure when we are done here, Mama Kathy will take you on. Oh, Mama Kathy, what should this young lady who is watching us tonight do?
Seek for help. That's the first thing she should do.
Who should she go to?
I believe that when you're desperate for something, you'll find what you're desperate for. I may not know who she should go to, but I believe that if she truly sees the need for help, she'll get help. And another thing that is very primary for me to tell her is to know that she's here on assignment. Her life is beautiful. Her life is wonderful. And that she just needs somebody who will walk her through all of what life has thrown at her and help her wipe the dust so that she can take her life back again. There is hope for her. I don't know who she should go to, but I believe that there are counselors, there are psychologists around. She can go on the net. This is a technological age. She can go and say counselor or therapist, psychologist in Ghana, and then probably...
Or you can come to Justina.
Okay,
yes. Or walk into any public health facility and request for the help of psychologists. If they don't have a practitioner, they will help. The doctors will help get one. Or can visit me at my hospital.
But you are in Accra. She is somewhere else. She's not here. Because I would have said, I would love to see this young lady. But she's not here.
She can contact you, get to me. I can, wherever she is.
So I'll get Justina's contact for you, and then you can contact her. But I'm sure that you'll be able to get help. There's help out there. Wisdom, what should she do in 20 seconds?
I think what the father didn't give her was the interactions. So I feel like you should get to socialize more. Not with the vices, the vice groups. That's what she resorted to by alcohol, sex, and all that because they give her the excitement. So you have to look for a group, a good group, positive group that's going to give you that excitement, but not to result on a negative side of life.
Right, thank you very much. Wisdom Kate example for a dramatic engineer and a land surveyor. Mama Kathy, she's a family life consultant, author, and executive life coach. And Justina Ejri is a counseling psychologist. My name is Lily Mohammed. So those of you who have issues and you want to write to us, the number is 050-484-1434. 05048414434. Write to us, and then we'll always discuss it, and we'll try to offer solutions as possible as we can. Have a good night. Listen, this has been quite an emotional night for me. Bye for now.
GH1 TV, your best experience.
In July 2021, we debuted season 1 of the most anticipated nighttime talk show, 13 episodes that made you cry, laugh, learn and grow. We brought you conversations with witty kids, experienced retirees, physically challenged persons changing the status quo, and celebrated personalities who have overcome challenges to pursue the life of their dreams. The time has come for Season 2 of The Natalie Ford Show, and this time it gets even better. So get prepared for nothing but the best as we bring you enriching conversations with iconic men and women, sharing their stories of success, survival, and ultimately celebration. So, cheers to trials and tribulations, the highs and the lows, the daily hustle and the big wins. Whether joining us in studio or from the comfort of your home, you're in for the best nighttime talk show experience every Sunday at 7 p.m. on GH1 television. Let's bloom together with conversations that matter, only on The Natalie Ford Show. The Natalie Ford Show, coming soon on GH1 TV.
GH1 TV, your best experience.
Youth Leadership Parliament, in partnership with EIB Network Limited, GH1 TV, brings you Youth Leadership reality show dubbed Ghana's Youth President. Are you an aspiring leader? Do you have what it takes to become a great political leader? The opportunity is here to showcase yourself, battle your mind, and share ideas for national development and transformation, and also stand the chance to become the Youth President of Ghana, the best youth members of Parliament, and the best youth minister. Register now and be part of this reality program here on GH1 TV. Your best experience. Dial short code *800*9142# and follow the prompts on all networks. Expiring young leaders across the country in TESCON, 10, SRC, NUGS. Ghana's Youth President, the next generation of global leaders.
Black is bright. Black is bold. Black is gold. Black shines bright.